everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am coming in today as promised. Yesterday when you saw my little red dress project, I'm actually wearing the same thing, so I decided to do them in the same day. Today is all about Simplicity 8217. I felt like this deserved a video on its own because it was my final project of 2017 and the first time me attempting a coat. So I really didn't have this plan throughout the year that, oh, by the end of the year I'm gonna do a coat. I'm in Alethea's So Much Talent Facebook group, and Made by Laquana. I'll link both of their Instagram handles right here. Made by Laquana decided to do a challenge for December to do coats, and I was like, I want to do a coat, but I had all the jitters and everything around it, and I saw, is it Lone Star Couture on Instagram posted this coat. And the thing is, I had already saw the day she posted it, I think that day before, I was already in Joann Fabrics because these patterns were on sale, Simplicity for $5. And I bought this in November. And I first passed it by, and then I saw her post, and I was like, you know what? That is such a pretty simple coat, and it looks simple, I should say that. You know, not with collars and tabs and all this zippers and all this other different stuff. So I said, I will give it a try, and I will do view B because it's shorter. I'm in Texas. It don't get crazy cold like I'm used to in Wisconsin. But it gets, you know, it's chilly now. It's 40 degrees. It's, you know, relatively speaking, I guess it's cold. But at any rate, so I went ahead, ordered my fabric. Black Friday weekend, I totally forgot to mention this in my November haul video. But Fabric Mart Online was having a sale. And so I've already kind of clipped this and put in my little, y'all know, my little makeshift swatch book. But this is what I got. It is grape black polyester wool fiber brushed coating, and it was 58-inch width, and it was on sale for $14 a yard. And so, and I bought 3 yards. And so if it's still on fabricmart.com online, I will link it down below, so check the description box below. And so a couple things I was looking for. I saw Andrea Sew to Fit video about different types of wool. She's in Texas. Actually, we live in the same area. She did the video about different types of wool, different weights and everything like that. And it kind of opened my eyes to different, and I'll link her video down below. It opened my eyes to different types of wool, seeing that I'm in Texas, so it doesn't get cold like it does in Wisconsin and up north. And so I purposely went for this lightweight. This is the wrong side of the fabric, so as you can see, it is very nice, and it's very thin. It's very thin. It has, you know, a little bit of stretch, not this way, but this way. And this is the right side. It's a very soft, I guess this is what you would call the side that has the nap to it, but so pretty. And purple is my color. And the thing is, I had, before Pantone came out with their color of the year, I had already decided for 2018 makes was going to be shades of my favorite color, which is purple. And so I said, I'm gonna get this purple. And so that's what I got. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the pictures, but I want to get into the about the pattern. So this pattern, for anybody who needs to shake those, I want to make a coat, but I'm scared, and you know, that those jitters, that fear of diving in, cutting into fabric and all this other different stuff. I did not do a muslin, and I don't regret it. I don't regret that at all. Not for this coat. Now, when I do, you'll see my Make 9. When I do that coat, I will be doing the muslin. But for this, because it was just a few pieces, it was actually, oh, I didn't write down the pieces, the number of pieces, but I did cut out a size 24. I measured everything multiple times because usually with big 4 patterns, I always have to make adjustments for the arms, for the bust, for the waist and hip. And I didn't have to. I measured everything multiple times. And so I went ahead and I cut the pattern out and laid all my fabric out. And I still have, maybe I think I ordered a little extra because I still have like almost about a half a yard to almost almost a full, just under a yard left of fabric. And so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. So if anybody have any suggestions, let me know. Maybe a skirt, but I don't know how much longer I will even be wearing that in our weather. And then the lining, I got that from Fabric Mart as well. And that is, and it's actually right here. I don't know if I was able to save this in my swatch book before I created it. If I did, I'll link this below also, but this is the lining. I have bought this months ago. You would have seen this in a haul if you've been following, but also from Fabric Mart. And so just quick things. It is, like I said, it's a lightweight wool. Oh, I did make sure that I had my pressing tool. And so what I did, sorry, stepping out the camera here, but what I did was I bought a wooden block. If you can see, it's just a wooden block. It's actually a scrap. And what I did was, I was watching That's So Rochelle in one of her videos last year where she said she went to like a Home Depot or something like that and got a wooden block to do the pressing. And I was like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. I have to remember to do that. So that was always in the back of my head. So I went to the hardware store around the corner from my house and just looking, because I was like, it can't be no more than like a couple bucks. Because I remember That's So Rochelle, I think she said she got it for free and they sanded her for her and everything. And so I was like, you know, it can't be more than a couple bucks. So I went, asked them at the hardware store, and yes, he went to the back, got this, and gave it to me for free. So I have my pressing block, which I will be using when I do jeans. And so I had, I wanted to get some cotton batting and everything and kind of put it up under my ironing board, but I just folded up towels, had them nice and thick, and when I was pressing the seams, it worked beautifully. So get your wooden block for your wools and your jeans. So now I have that. So go to your local hardware store. They may give it to you for free. I want to say this is about 6 inches and about two inches thick maybe. So yeah, that worked out. So that was a blessing. Inserting the sleeve, just get into some of the construction. Had you do the shell first, the entire shell outside of the coat first, and then did the lining second. And so I'll do a video here once the shell was done. I was very happy with it. I tried it on and it was big, and I was like, well, I wonder will some of this go away once I add the lining, because it was, I mean, it really wrapped across the front of me. And but I was like, oh, but that's okay. If I decide to wear a sweater or something thicker or something like that, you know, no big deal. I'm not even worried about that. So I'd rather be too big than too small, right? And so I went on with the construction. I will say the instructions were fine. This pattern, while I think it's a very beginner coat friendly pattern, not necessarily beginner sewer friendly pattern, just because they don't say certain things that you might be used to. Obviously, if you're spoiled by indie patterns, they let you know what certain things mean and show you a little bit more in detail. But there are certain parts you have to know. Don't forget to press there, or don't forget to clip here, and different things of that nature. Just because if you put other things together, you know to do that. So I got all the way to the end. It was only for View B 27 steps, which wasn't bad. I did go over the instructions prior to starting the project until it got to step number 23. And step number 23 is now you're combining the outer part of the coat with the lining. First problem I had, I'm not sure how this happened, is the neckband on the actual coat. When I went to connect it with it, and I'm telling you, all my notches lined up when I cut everything, because you know, this is the most I've ever paid for fabric, and so I didn't want to, like, you know, goof it up in any way. And so when I lined up the lining with the coat, main fabric, they did not line up at the shoulder seams. There was more lining fabric than there was coat. And so I sat there and I was thinking, now, how did this happen? All my notches were lining up, everything like that. So what I decided to do was cut, and you'll see, you probably already know, before I even finish the sentence, wrong. I cut the middle part of the coat lining to make it so the lining, or I'm sorry, of the coat, so the lining can fit. I should have never cut the coat part. I'm thinking what probably should have happened that was not written in the instructions is my seam allowances that I was sewing for my lining should have been smaller. Instead of using 5/8, maybe it should have been 3/8, which means that neck part would have matched up perfectly, and this is all after the fact, with my shoulder seams. So totally goofed up there. And so I went on with it, and then after I did that is when I realized, now I did that, that's going to mess up my center back for the coat. And sure enough, once everything was being put together, the back of the coat had all that extra room, like 2 inches, and that would not fit. This was, and so I end up cutting all of this out. This is like 2 inches I end up cutting out, and I was like, ooh, I don't know how that's gonna be. And so what happened as a result of me doing that was, because I cut out so much from the back, it no longer overlapped, because it overlapped perfectly. I feel like now I'm kind of making it overlap a little bit, and I'll show pictures. I'm going to try to back up here so you can see me. I should have did this earlier, but as you can tell, I mean, it overlaps. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. It overlaps fine. As you can see, got the pockets, everything fits fine. But it took out so much that it's not overlapping as much as it was prior to me making that change. And so that was the only thing. The lining, as you can see, and so with me not changing that lining, it's a little baggy on the inside, but not horrible. I remembered to put my tag on the lining before I joined everything. As you saw in my little red dress project, I forgot to do that. Everything pressed down well. That was pretty much my only challenge, and also the last part was closing the bottom of the coat. For whatever reason, the instructions 23 through 27 made no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. And I tried Googling to try to, I did Google, where did I end up? I want to say it might have been Grainline Studio. I don't even remember because I was Googling so much. But it was a blog post. And I'm not a big blog reader, but it was a blog post because I was looking for a video that talked about how to close a lining, the bottom of the lining. And because the instructions were not good, was not good at all, because it tells you to turn this inside out, pin it on the other side, flip it out, bring the sleeve through the bottom so that you can connect the sleeve. And that's what I had to Google, because I was like, what in the world? Because all the instructions was just not good. And so I managed to figure that out. And then I was like, well, how do, it never tells you to flip it back out, take the pins out at the bottom, sew it across, none of that. It never said, it just skipped from doing the sleeves, pulling the sleeves back out, to just closing up the bottom. And it's like, okay, but I never flipped it back around to take the pins out, so how am I close it up? So I was so frustrated by that, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to figure this out. And I forget where I was. I saw something online that had somewhat of an explanation that I could understand. And so I did my best. It's not the best. But it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm fine. And then because I took out that space, when I was pressing, it wasn't, it still looked buckly at the bottom, so I had to repress it, everything, and then it finally, you know, straightened up fine. But I figured out how to close that sucker down at the bottom, and it looks fine. It's not perfect, but that's fine. I wasn't going for perfect with this coat by all means. I thought it was a fun challenge, and I wanted to give it a try. So that's my coat. That is my coat. I will put it on. And that is my review of this pattern. So yeah. It's a very, like I said, very easy, or not easy. It was a very beginner-friendly coat pattern. But yeah, once you get towards the end and got to figure out how to close up the bottom and all that part, those part of the instructions were horrible. And so I just kind of winged it, did the best I could, you know, pressing again. And so yeah, that's it. And so hopefully I've been popping up pictures throughout this video, but I love it. And so 2018, this year, I will be doing the Robson coat, which I will do a muslin. And I've made all these notes, and I'm telling you, I made notes on how to, because I wouldn't mind making this again. Probably, maybe not this year, who knows? But it's not on the priority to do it again right away. But I don't mind doing it again, because it really was, now that I've gone through it, it's like, okay, yep, I pretty much know what to do next time, the adjustments I need to make. Especially with the lining, making sure it fits, because if that lining had fit right in there, this will be more overlapped, and it's not, but that's fine. It still looks good, still wearable, obviously. So that's all I got. If you have any questions, let me look at my notes here. Yeah, I think that's it. Those were all my notes. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Stay tuned for Sunday. I'm looking at my planner here. I will have on Sunday my next video, my December makes. And so you will see that. And then after that, I will have my December haul and then my January plans. And so, yeah, I have quite a few videos lined up. So make sure that you are subscribed and hit the bell so you make sure you get the notification. And so, yeah, that is all I got. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.